What's up? This is Prince Zahiel of BlackWallStreet.com. This is my first video post ever. So I'd like to welcome you. BlackWallStreetDollars.com is a company predicated on building a black political economy for Black America. It's predicated upon recycling the dollars. Currently, right now, we're in a situation to which collectively, Black America aggregates about $1 trillion. Now, however, amongst that $1 trillion, what is left over or what is kept by the actual community, what comes back is actually 3%. And that right there is a very sad case. And in my opinion, is what precipitates all of the problems, all of the stresses, all of the frustrations, and all of the basically criminal activity and behaviors that we unfortunately find ourselves entangled in. We have a very low cognition of economics. Economics is actually a science, meaning that if applied and if practiced, the end result is mathematically sound. Like you can't avoid it. So by practicing economics, which is the science, it is the social science that describes the factors that determine the production, distribution, and consumption of goods and services. I printed out a couple of images as well as the definition of economics from Google, from Google Images. And what you have right here is a man, a woman, or whatever, directions, scratching his head. And I was talking from kind of like my surrogate mom from Sisters Uptown Bookstore, and it's like we were discussing, we don't know where to go. There's a lot of us that don't even understand how educated and miseducated at the same time we all are, because we have no group power. We have no everyone knows, and especially all the other groups know, you can go to probably any black neighborhood in America and you can find all other groups basically running our economic system, meaning that we have no inheritable wealth. You can find more information in documentaries such as 7 a.m. and Black Friday and et cetera, et cetera. But we have no aggregate wealth. We have no inheritable wealth, so we don't pass anything down onto our children. We have no cash flow. We have no assets. These are synonymous, some of the same words. So thereby, if we lose our job, the economy collapses, God forbid, we're left in a very, very dependent situation. And that does not have to be in this day and age. We have some tools, some strategies at BlackWallStreetDollars.com that are going to take us from where we're at and take us to the next level. And I hope to introduce those to you, and those that are ready to move forward, not just talking about building, but actually being about it. I hope we can all align with these common principles and purposes. Here I have economic books. A lot of it deals with strategies, ideologies, and understanding. And just because you're an economist, which I consider myself a black political economist, does not mean you're a capitalist. I want to deal with communalism, bringing being in harmony with my community and working together for a common cause, common goals. I think that resonates with my spirit, and I hope it resonates with thousands to even possibly potentially millions of those that are needing and looking for something more. And here I want to show you here. This is where we're currently at, okay? Or this is like basically just simple economic models, okay? Here you have the households. So it could be like who knows how many black households, millions of black households. And then you have the businesses over here, and this is the cycle. This is called the cycle, the circular flow of money. And this is the constant thing that goes on. And then you have the government, which takes out like 1/3, or we sign 1/3 over to them, which we could deduct a lot of that if we had our own home-based businesses, which we will get into in further videos. However, you have all of these businesses. Probably, who knows? There's 1 million black businesses, 2 million black businesses, most of them home-based, but and then you have millions of other ethnic groups in our neighborhood. So you have this cycle of money, and then we go outside of our neighborhoods to get jobs, and then we come back, and then we just spend our money everywhere. And we deal with Christmas, all these other holidays, and we're not thinking of how we can structure ourselves in order to function efficiently. It's called infrastructure. You know, you want foundation. You want to be able to, because all of these other things such as recessions and things like that deal with economics, they're pretty much all man-made. I'm totally 110% convinced. We don't have to be susceptible to stock market crashes and other things of that nature if we had our affairs in order. And in fact, part of economics means household and customs and law. So if we had our own households in order, not only on an individual level, which is called personal finance, but we have to start thinking on a macro level, people. Macro level, which is economics. And so then we start to control this behemoth, this $1 trillion, which actually Delzina Wilson coined this. Like, we can actually have like $1 million times 1 million is 1 trillion. So it could actually be technically like 1 million millionaires being made. And so when you have things such as, I had one post on CNN, every week in China, there's a billionaire being made. You know, we don't look at this inverse relationship between where our dollars are going or how fast that leaves our community, and looking at how other ethnic groups, because there's not just one economy. I have to let that be known. There's so many different economies, and a great thing to that when individuals come to America and they aggregate themselves in groups, they start it's an ethnic group, and they start functioning as such. And that doesn't mean, oh, I have to constantly always pull my money. No, what you do is you support the network that you're in. You always support the network. And then when you come with the business or you come with things of that nature, you have your automatic support. And this is a concept that I'm always going to be adhering to for the rest of my life, because it is the definition, in my case, of success. If you have the backing of your community, you're automatically successful. If you don't have the backing of your community, you don't have the backing of other people's communities, you know, you're going to find it very, very hard to be successful. And you should automatically have automatically the backing of your community, and not just in talk, not just, you know, family here and there, and you know what's going on. No, I'm talking about we should be able to be manifesting at a higher rate. We should be able to, and that takes the circulation of our dollars. So we must internalize. We must stop the leakage. The leakage is so, it's like, imagine those dollars are currencies. That's energy. The leakage is so severe that sometimes I don't even know we're surviving at a low vibration. So we need to pick it up a notch. A couple of other pictures. Wealth of Nations. You know, that was Adam Smith's book. You know, this is how the world is run through this economic system. So we must create our own. And on that last note, with this little diagram and books that I basically print it out and put like in a little binder. I just did want to say that economics being the study and an analysis of wealth, how it is created, the production, we must get productive, distribution, how it is being distributed. Do we have any distribution centers, like whether they're restaurants, and we're doing, do we are we aggregating, is how it's distributed, how it's consumed? We know, and they know, they all know, we cannot be just relegated to households and the consumer class. As a consumer class, we must start understanding economics at a basic level. It's not all it is not rocket science. It is the production, distribution, and the consumption of goods and services, and you keep it all together. And on that note, I would like to prescribe, as well as suggest, the recommended reading, the 4 major books on Black economics that you will ever get. And I think that every Black household should have them. Why? Because it has never been really, to me, it has never really been about one individual leader. It has always been about an ideology and understanding and knowledge and application of knowledge. So it's never been about any one leader to which can easily get taken out. It has everything to do with how much the group knows, how much they adopt as their culture, as their practices. Economics is a practice. So you must be practicing it to get results. You cannot just, it's not theory, it's not, just something. No, it is a practice. So when you go, the first thing, Black Pages, where you spend your money, blackpages.com, and you find and making sure you try to support as much as you possibly can Black businesses, and create some networks. Go to Meetup, create a Meetup, join a Meetup. When I show you these 4 books, understand and get rooted in Black economics, and understanding that it's going to be a solution that solves some major problems. It's at the root. So always support Black businesses. Blackpages.com. Get creative. Create a online directory of Black businesses, which I will be doing in the soon future. And understand and network together. Join my network. My network is called princezahiel.myecon.net, and I will be traveling soon. So I'm in New York City base, by the way, and I will be traveling soon to Philly, DC, and Baltimore. Those are the 3 closest cities that I want to get to. Now I want to establish networks, but right now I have to create my own dream team, or my own group of people that understand and develop here in this New York City base right here. However, okay, so let's get to the books. The major books, if you're a Black political economist like me, and understand the necessity, not just on personal finance tip as a household or as an individual, but understand the power of the group determines your success as well. Then these are the books that you want to get. African American Economic Development and Plan for Black America by Huizu Samuel Murray. A phenomenal book. Probably about 300 pages. A bohemian book right here. Okay, that's the first one. Second one is Powernomics. Brilliant Dr. Claude Anderson. The national plan to empower Black America. If we don't start thinking like this, and in fact, I do want to say this. I'm looking for 144,000. That's a figurative term, but also it's about 50,000 Black people that want to actually, practice this and build something efficient. You don't need the millions. We don't need the millions. We need the people that are ready to build something and that don't just want to talk about it, don't just want to have meetings, don't want to just, you know what I mean, that actually want. It's not about, you know, that don't want to march anymore, that don't want to protest anymore. I mean, I'm not saying that's not good, but what I am saying, I'm not saying those that are on the front line and with the red, black, and green. What I am saying is those that want to actually come together, and it doesn't like have to mean I make my 50,000 and we all, you know, throwing it in the pot. What I am saying is that when you create economic systems, you start and have your weekly meetings, your networking meetings, the money starts flowing in the room. Like Delzina Wilson said, he's a founder of Tag Team Marketing, which is now called the Black Business Network. He said, like, if you have 100 black people in the room and they make each make $30,000, nobody leaves the room. That money all stays within the money, and you start building from there. And there are other strategies, but that is the first and foremost. If you can't start with that, and you know you start making excuses, and you can't come together, and you don't understand the importance of economic development, which every other group does, and you know we get exploited so much. So we must understand that. The second book, or the third book, is phenomenal. Spiritual Warriors Are Healers by Mfudishi. I like this book. It's almost like a 700 page book. I did want to show you guys this particular diagram right here. You know, says Pan-African worldview, African culture. You must have systems. Everything has systems. You go to your job has a system. You go to, you know, the ecology has a system. Your body has a system. So you have your defense system, your educational system, your Mayat governance system, your Ujamaa economic system, language recovery and communication system, holistic health and healing system, food production, labor, manufacturing system. So everything, arts, music, entertainment system. So we must have systems, and by far we must have an economic system. If you don't, you know, you're just going to have chaos, and you're not going to have any control. That's the number one thing we have in this country is the power of our own choice. Power how to direct ourselves. So even when, you know, Set, you know, Wanguzu, devil, they try to take advantage of you, the signature, the power, your signature through power, you know, whether it's through tax, whether through child support, whether it's through, you know, hospitals, and they want body organs, whatever the case, they try to get you to sign. Everything choice. You must take advantage of your own choices. You must be fully conscious and ready to adhere to your own principles, your own ideologies, your own understandings, and start using the power of your choice to create a different circumstance. Amongst this book right here, Spiritual Warriors Are Healers, why it's so good as well is it takes you back to African culture, goes into a little bit of martial arts as well, and just as well rooted, yes, in comedic themes. It has a lot to deal with spirituality, but it's really trying to recreate a system predicated based upon principles that I think you know, black people need right now, but also looks at social systems and structures. And the last book that I would suggest that deals with economics and that really gives you that, black economics rather, and that really gives you that macro view, that world, that understanding view, because we've been torn apart so much, you know, ignorance perpetuating generations. So we gotta stop that. What I deem generational curse, if you want, like, we have to raise up in terms of the understanding of our health, the understanding of wealth, the understanding of relationships, and you know why they're so important. So the last but not least is the this is the heaviest one, Blueprint for Black Power. I don't even feel like you could practice Kwanzaa without having these 4 books, without applying, without having your networks, without really practicing economics, because you can't really build anything. You're not really, when it comes every year. I think these are the books that I want on my table when I'm saying, okay, this is what we accomplished. Okay, these are the networks that we build. These are the alliances, and we doing it all together, and we doing the libations, and we could say that, okay, these are how many new businesses have been created. This is the power network from here, New York City, Philadelphia, Washington, D.C., from here, the world over, and we're living in a digital age, so they don't have to take us that long. It could actually be in a blinking of an eye. So this right here, Dr. Amos Wilson, this is almost like 850 pages, but it will take it's like a lifetime to master this in particular right here. So I encourage everyone, if you're really serious about getting change, seeing change, and make you don't just see it, making it manifest. These are the 4 books. These are 4 macro economic books to look at it as a bigger picture. Of course, Robert Kiyosaki. On an individual level, there's various other people that show you the science of personal finance, but on a bigger scope, which we will go into, but on the macro scope, those are the books. Black Wall Street Dollars. I'm gonna bring this video to the close. I don't know if I said it. The main principles, the main practices that we want to deal with, and we want to actually make manifest in our lives on an everyday basis, are generational wealth. There's families that, who knows the level of generations that they just have wealth coming in on a continuous basis. Okay, generational wealth. We want to have something to pass down, and they understand the principles so they could continue on the legacy and continue growing. We want to have cash flow. You can't have cash flow without having really assets, and we want to have passive cash flow. So we want to elevate our knowledge and understanding to have that. We want economic development, and it's only us that can create that for our own selves. Team building, that's very necessary. You can't have nothing. You can't do anything as an individual, and I want that to be known. I mean, yes, you could, go to corporate America and, get a job, but that's not the bigger picture. Networking, metaphysics of money, books like this, Quantum Success, are phenomenal. It's on the wave of The Secret, just always making sure that the mind is always on that vibration. So we'll be doing affirmations as such. Asset building, and last but not least, GDP, gross domestic product. We always need to, when you're conscious of that you need economics, you need to be conscious of making sure you're always doing inventory of how much you're producing, how much wealth you're obtaining. If other groups or Nielsen or whoever can do that for you, they're studying you better than you studying yourself. They're knowing you better than you know yourself. So with that being said, first video on Black political economics. I hope I wasn't too all over the place. I hope that I was informative. In future videos, we're going to get down to the nitty gritty in terms of speaking specifically about particular subject matters. So economics, and getting a little bit deeper into that, spiritual economics or metaphysics of money, getting a little bit, honing that in. Cooperative economics. We don't know how powerful being a united force can be, and that you do not need all the millions. All you need, first and foremost, is this several thousand showing you what is actually possible by being a network, and then everything else people start saying, okay, this is how you're supposed to function. Personal financial success. Okay, always need to be dealing with this income statement and balance sheet, not only as individuals and households, but also on the macro level as well. We need to see where we're at and see where we're going to go. Secrets of the wealthy: how to minimize taxes, trust, knowing what they are, understanding those, networks and alliances. These are what all of the wealthy has. Okay, the 144,000, I described that. We don't need all 144,000. We need about 50,000. That's what Black Wall Street is calling for. 50,000 black people that understand the importance of these topics, of these subject matters, who want to make a shift. And last but not least, your time. Your time is valuable. Spend it with those who want to go somewhere. Your network is your net worth. Peace.